You always do.
Cold open.
Let's give him something to talk about. Talking about people. Just a little bit low. They stand just a little too close.
Let's give them something to talk about. A little mystery to
Figure out how about love. Love.
Welcome to the Blazing Bush. Hey, welcome on back to the Blazing Bush, the one show on the internet where Taylor and I said Chue. Hey. Okay, so Taylor, what are we doing today?
We are talking about.
Reveal to the audience what today is. This is sort of a surprise. We haven't told, and no one knows about this. This
is the last day we're doing Camp Sleepaway.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why this man makes all the money. All $15.
Yeah! We're Camp Sleepaway. Sleepaway Camp. I don't know what the fuck it's called anymore.
Who gives a shit? Only one of them was worth it.
Who gives a shit?
Oh, we're finally done. We're done, finally.
We're done.
I'm so happy. We take these chains off.
And, so we're done with the movies, and now we're going to talk about our own version
of
Sleepaway
Camp 5. Yes, today we are doing
5. Fuck you, I'm having fun.
Fuck you, I'm having fun.
For praise.
That was my fun for praise.
Fuck you, I'm having fun with cilantro.
The Blazing Bush Variety Hour with Gage Clark and Taylor Doan will return after this message from our sponsor.
I'm Ann. I'm Andy. I like County Fair tasty pastries. I like County Fair snack cakes. Now I'm Grandma. I like County Fair rolls. They go so well with marmalades and tea.
Now I'm Grandpa. And I'll take County Fair potato bread because it's flavory, just like Grandma used to bake.
I'm Mommy, and I like County Fair brown and serve rolls. They bake fluffy all through.
I'm Daddy, and I like County Fair hamburger rolls.
Now I'm Sister, and I like County Fair English muffins.
I'm my big brother, and I like hot dogs best of anything. And what I like next best of hot dogs are County Fair hot dog rolls.
No matter who you are, nobody gives you as much. The County Fair, baked with care.
We now return you to the Blazing Bush Variety Hour with Gage Clark and Taylor Doan.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Blazing Bush. That makes 6 figures. Welcome back to the 6 Figure Podcast, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast who made 6 figures. And I love you. I see dreams so green when I start to fire. Red roses down in your eyes.
Okay. Where are we at? Oh, yeah. We wrote... Oh, no, go ahead.
We were talking about the movie, baby. Come on, baby. Movie. That makes 6 figures. Starting to sound like fucking Muppets. You still working here? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our special guest, Your Nightmares.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, God.
I
This
don't
dick with no balls.
So today we're talking about our versions of what Sleepaway 5 could have been.
Should
Or
have been.
Not, I don't even know about should have. Basically, we're just fucking around today.
Yes.
This is sort of, I don't know about Taylor.
So is it number 3 or is it number... Technically? In the order that we're going?
What?
What?
Shit, ladies and gentlemen, I made him laugh so hard he deflated.
All the air. Oh.
Let me show you why I'm in charge. Thanks for listening, everybody.
We just do random shit from other people.
Sleepaway Camp 5. It's just like Angela still, Felissa Rose still goes around, because it's not Angela anymore now, it's just Felissa Rose.
Right.
Felissa Rose goes around the camp killing people, except now she talks like this.
She had a sex change back to a boy. Did he have arms?
Yeah, he did. Because he was always like,
In case you didn't know what we were talking about.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Well,
That's the cold open. Perhaps we should get this shit started at some point.
All right.
Just go ahead and get it over with.
Let's begin.
Let's get this shit over with. All right, so...
I'll go first. Mine will be quick.
Oh, no, okay, let's actually, describe... So what we're doing...
What we're trying to do.
What we are saying we're going to do, and probably we might do it, our own versions of what Sleepaway 5 could or would be, or because they're actually going to make it. But
Yeah. No, wait. Did they try to do 4 as a combination, right?
4? Oh no, 4 was just them releasing them. It was supposed to be released in 1992. And
Not
then
so.
it got the company that made it, that was producing them, went bankrupt. I wonder fucking why. And then it finally, the archived footage got released in 2012, and it was spliced in with footage from
other
two
movies
and
and stuff.
3
Yeah.
to get it to just over 70 minutes or something like that.
So R5. Well, you could start from anywhere, I guess.
Because there's no restraints. Because there's no production restraint, no budgets or production. It's just whatever we want it to be, so we can just write it what the hell ever, whatever we want it to be, really. So it can start from wherever, it can be wherever, whenever. So what was your idea? I know you didn't write it down like you meant to, but
I was gonna do in between the first one and the return.
Okay, so you're kind of just cut out the middlemen. No 2 or 3. It's gonna be actual. Are you cutting those out, and yours is just 1 in return?
Mine's
You're
gonna be
set
1
in the actual Felissa Rose Angela.
Right.
Timeline.
1 in return, and what did we say? She was probably 12 or something like that in the first one?
I think somebody I'd say
11,
roughly maybe
12
13,
or
14 is what I would guess.
And then an adult.
Yeah.
In the return to Sleepaway Camp. So I was just thinking it'd be cool to kind of go back and to see.
You're in between.
It'd almost actually be like 2 and 3, where it'd be in between, and I'd have her kind of sneak out to go and do 2 and 3, back to the summer camps, but then somehow sneak back and forth,
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. So your Sleepaway 5 isn't really it's 5, but it's not. It would be the 5th chronologically, but not the actual 5th. I guess
on.
story wise.
Yeah.
So you're set in between 1 and return, certainly. But you're are you kind of so are you kind of pushing out 2 and 3 in some way?
In some way,
because your Angela is the Felissa Rose Angela,
right?
You're
So I'm taking out.
no offense to Pamela Springsteen,
Right.
Yeah. We liked you.
Just you.
Just you. Not even the character you played. Just
Yeah.
you.
You as a person, real person. But I would take them out.
I hear she's a good photographer.
Oh.
That is what she does.
didn't know
I
that.
believe she is a photographer. I haven't actually seen her pictures. Let's
still-
look some of them up right
still
now.
promote it, yeah.
We'll put them up. Yeah, right here. Let's see. You talk about your idea,
Right.
or
So I was
discuss it.
gonna
Where
say,
I'll look
I
up
would-
Pamela Springsteen's pictures.
I would have the first one and Return Away, and take 2 and 3 and kind of just
Did you say Return Away?
return Sleepaway.
No, I just thought that was funny.
Return Away, and use 2 and 3 as a shell ideas. She's in the loony bin, but then comes out for like for the different camps, somehow going back and forth so they don't suspect it's her. Coming out, I can't remember what the camps were, doing her killing. I would take away the like, it wouldn't be like the Angela that they had. No one-liners after she kills them. No like goofiness about being like the patrol. I don't know what you would call it. Just like
the saintly sentry that she was.
Yeah, going around being like, oh, I'm gonna judge you guys. It would just be the regular Angela. I would write it so that the people would like do something to her. Kind of like it would make sense for her to come back at them.
Kind of like how in Return to Sleepaway Camp, she was killing mean kids.
Right.
Well,
it would be like a mixture of that and the first one where it's like kind of to her.
Yeah.
But also like people being unfair to bullies and
or maybe like someone who she sees as herself almost.
Right, and trying to take like
I guess
take
what
her under her wing.
I guess what
or him.
Alan in Return to Sleepaway Camp was supposed to be,
but they were
or maybe he wasn't.
to.
I don't know what the intention with him was, honestly, and I don't think that really helped. But
yeah, no, that was just a weird little.
Maybe kind of like how almost what the girl from the second one was. I guess they were trying to make her like her, whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that,
Can't
like someone
name,
who, like she can like really empathize with.
So something like
sympathize,
for
whatever.
each time it would be something like that, where try to like counsel, I guess, a camper, but having like them get picked on or something, or have them actually pick on Angela in a non like weird way that they try to do in 2 and 3, but like a counselor kind of way, maybe like kids who are unruly. So I'd have like that kind of thing. More so with number 1, we're having actual people. Not everyone dies, obviously, because that's just too weird to me. I'd like the ending too of 1, where it just kind of leaves it open.
Yeah,
I would do that. Well, I guess I'd have to if I'm doing that, because Return is supposed to be happening after the one that I'm doing, even though mine's made after Return. So she can't like die or anything like that, because she has to.
So, sorry to interrupt you. So I know you ended up, you meant to write stuff down, you didn't, but you have been thinking about this.
Yeah.
I imagine at least a bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, definitely. It sounds like it already.
Yeah,
kind of.
I was thinking that
You're thinking about it right now.
it would be like it would start before Return to Sleepaway Camp, so she can't, like, you already know what's going to happen, but you didn't know what happened in between 1 and Return to Sleepaway Camp.
Right.
So you already kind of know the ending is she's not going to get caught, because she has to come back as an adult. This would be like teenage or young adult Angela.
I should add also, sorry, I meant to show you this before we recorded. Turns out, because I had to go and mess with the footage on Return to Sleepaway Camp for the episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
There was a post-credit scene to Return to Sleepaway Camp. What it was supposed to do, according to the Wikipedia page or whatever, is explain how Angela escaped the loony bin. It doesn't fucking do that. No surprise there. What it does do is show, at the very least, how she got the police vehicle and perhaps clothes.
The disguise that she was wearing.
I'll show it to you later, but it is just... The best thing I could say about it is that it is pointless and artless.
Perfect.
The best thing I can say about it is that it is brutal and artless, and Felissa Rose is in it.
Okay.
So there is one saving grace about that scene.
1 out of 3.
She's doing what she does best.
Nice.
That is a compliment.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
All
so the main thing is I would show them, or I'd write in between how she got out, kind of have her going back and forth. Not everyone dies, and then the deaths would be like one kind of like.
But you don't have any of this kind of.
Not written down, but I've just been thinking.
Do you have any ideas of
how?
What you're thinking about? So, do you have any ideas of what happened after the first one? Like, well, of course, this is what it's supposed to be, but I mean, like, what happened after?
So she goes.
Ronnie and Susie found her on the beach.
So after
on the waterfront.
it would show. So kind of with the number 2, it would show the cop. Maybe his son. Maybe have his son kind of off. Ooh, I kind of like the idea of having the son like there.
His son was a camper.
But you don't really, because that'd be nice if they. Or in the beginning, yeah, it'll do like what they did, where it shows that little scene, then it goes to black, and then cuts like 15 years later, or whatever like that is, or 10 years later.
Yeah.
So I'll show the cop. You'll have a better understanding of why this cop has a vendetta. Because that would be much better going into Return when he's the counselor.
Yeah.
Was that number 3?
That was number 3.
So that would just kind of
He's a counselor for some reason.
Yeah, that was weird. So it would just, I think.
Well, I guess a little bit of sense, but it's still kind of weird. It was random.
Yeah.
I think it was really just a reason to have him in there.
Yeah.
But
I think, I would try to make it fit a little better to have him in there. So you see him in the beginning, you see that he saw and he was the one who got her and has so much
some
hate.
connection.
Yeah, and then the son, and then you'll see it when it jumps later, that it'll be like number 2, where I'll have the son in there, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, not just kind of like, well, I guess he's the son of the cop. All right, I guess we're going to go with that.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be like, oh, shit, he's older. And now she's coming, and then she...
So in the second one, the guy who was the son of the cop
Mm-hmm.
ended up not going to the camp, but he almost did. That was the story. He almost went. He ended up not going that year.
Which one did he go to?
I can't remember, but he said to the Breakfast Club guy, he said, I almost ended up going to that camp, but my dad didn't have the money or something like that. And the guy was like, oh man, you're lucky. And he's like, oh, you're telling me.
Even though
So
he was at
he
this
was-
one where he
yeah.
still ended up dying.
Yeah, so he was supposed to go to Camp Arawak, whatever, from the first one.
Gotcha.
But he ended up not. So in your version, I'm guessing he did go.
No, he would still go there, and then she would come to that camp to come and get him.
Okay, so he didn't go to the camp in the first one. Okay,
Yeah.
he
right.
didn't. I misunderstood because you said like his son, like you see him like off to the side or something.
Oh, okay.
I thought you said, maybe I misunderstood what you said.
No, you understood me. So I'll have maybe...
I understood you perfectly.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you said, you didn't get any of this written down, so it's probably all kind of just like going around in your
Right,
head.
it's a little jumbled, but
No, that's fine.
that would be... Until I figure out a way, I could show the cop getting Angela, and then maybe cut back. He'll be the main character kind of thing. We can cut 10 years or whatever it is and have it, instead of like Ricky and Angela at the house, it would be the cop's son, like him going to camp, which could tie into, instead of starting with the girls.
It's almost sort of a reflection of the first one,
Yeah,
or kind of like a mirror.
exactly. And he'll
Except
be...
the parents sending the kid isn't fucking batshit.
Yeah, no psycho batshit crazy.
I mean, that wouldn't work at all.
Yeah, that was just like, what the hell's going on, man? So that would make and then you could see the cop again telling his son, be careful, and he's like, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
whatever, Dad. But like him saying, like, this is, you know, now because he's been scarred by Angela,
Yeah.
and that would be a nice little. You'd follow him and the girl, and I'd make it better where there's no like weird love. I'd either do two things: make it the love triangle
Makes sense.
makes sense, or
Just none.
yeah, there's no drama, or there is drama. You know what? We could make
No in between.
Yeah, I'll make drama, or there's no drama. There's no in between of it, like going like, there's no, I don't know if he likes me, and there's for why? Why? There's no reason. So that would make more gel together. I guess the third, I'd take the second and third one and kind of make it into one, where it'd be at the camp in the second one.
Yeah.
But maybe some of the stuff that they do in the third one, like I like the deaths, like the kind of the at the pole, you know, kind of coming.
Oh,
down.
the flagpole in the third
Flagpole,
one?
yeah.
Yeah, I liked that one a lot.
Maybe getting them so it's not just killing them in the bunk, but like going out, because they tried to do one night with Freddy Krueger and Jason when they went out camping or whatever, but maybe I'd have them do the third one where they all went out for like a period of time, not in the bunks. So kind of just like combination.
I liked also
boyfriend.
another kill. Sorry,
Yeah, you're
another
good.
kill in the third one I liked was the lawnmower thing. I
That-
just
yeah.
wish that had been done better, like in a way that made sense. Because the way it was all done, everything around it was weird, but the actual idea I thought was cool.
Yeah, that kind of like a death was pretty
I
neat.
suppose a little convoluted, but still cool. Bury someone in the ground and then run a lawnmower over their head. It's creative. Again, convoluted as hell, but creative.
Right. So kind of like that. I think that would be nice to tie in. And then it goes right into Return to Sleepaway Camp.
Okay.
And I'm not sure
was that it? Or?
Yeah, I don't know about the examples, but I would have, again, not have everyone die, but have...
And it would still be Angela, right?
Still be Angela. She comes back as a counselor maybe or something like that, and no one really knows her, because if the son wasn't there, that'd actually work better.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't recognize her.
Yeah. And this time he actually knows what her name was instead of being like, oh, yeah.
Right. And
he at least knows something.
knows all about it, but doesn't know, like...
He knows, but doesn't know.
Right. Can't put the
he wasn't there, but he's heard about it or something.
Yeah. I was gonna say, and then like we talked before, Angela's gonna be like somewhat normal, like as normal as you can get without being like the Crusader, going around. How dare you?
Crusader, that was a good way to put it. Yeah.
Killing her, killing everyone. Maybe like
fornicators.
Yeah. Like, how old are you?
Yeah.
What year is this? Jesus. I don't know if I want to make her... I think I'd like to make her more aware of how to blend in instead of... Like, still give her kind of a weird, like... She's like... You could almost confuse her as quirky.
Quirky?
Kind of like, oh, that's just Angela being kind of...
Yeah, okay.
Because I don't want her to be like, what's up, guys? Cool cat,
Kind of like how she was in the first one.
Yeah, where it wasn't like...
You weren't like, oh, she's so weird. I bet she's the killer. You're just like, no, that's just her.
Right, she's just quiet, like a normal kid after a tragedy. So then maybe make her talk a little more, be more like, just like a counselor, just a normal.
She was quiet and stuff after, but she still talked to Paul.
Yeah, like a counselor that's not cool, but not lame, not like a dork or whatever like
person.
that. Yeah, but still enough to be like, oh, she's just goofy, just kind of like a weird.
Yeah.
Because you already know. I don't know if I would play into any of the sex change or anything like that.
I do what you want to do. I mean, it's your movie.
I'm just trying to... Did they mention anything about that in the last one?
Return? No, not even.
She was a woman still.
No.
Or...
Well, when Angela was dressed as the cop and she was talking to Ricky, she was all like, you mean he? Because he said, I go to see her. And you remember, like, he meant him or he or whatever. And he's like, what? And he said, Angela is really a man now or something like that.
I guess I'd keep it like that then. I'd keep her a guy dressed as a girl. Because
But they all think she's a girl.
Right. Because I liked how they did that in the first one, where that was like the big like what, and then when they get the sex change, it's like.
Yeah, it's like what's the point? It's just not like I said. That's just not. It's not Angela now.
Right.
It's not Angela. Angela.
I want to keep her a man thinking he's a woman.
Yeah.
Because that's just the character.
Yeah. Like even if he's kind of aware that he is a man, he just cannot.
He's too crazy.
That just can't. That can't fly in his reality. Him actually fully becoming a man.
Right.
He has to be a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just can't not do that because it was for so long in his life that it's kind of like it was ingrained in his psyche that he cannot even fathom becoming a man fully. He's like, I just got to keep being a woman.
Mm-hmm. So I think if I give him more thought about how the deaths would go.
Any idea about like how it would end? Just all the ideas you got, man. All the ones you couldn't get, just lay them out.
So she doesn't get caught, obviously, but
it wasn't that obvious.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Following along, because I would like to have Return be the next one.
Of course, yeah.
So she can't get caught.
Well, in Return, the story was that she did get caught.
From the first one? Or what do you mean?
Oh, actually, no. Okay, I see what you're saying now. Or maybe this isn't what you're saying, but I do see it now. Everybody thinks she's been caught, but she's out. But Ricky thinks she's still there, though, because Ricky keeps going and visiting her. So, I mean, how?
So that's what I was going to keep.
Or does she just jump back and forth between?
Right, I was going to figure out how...
has very good time management.
Right. That, or she's figured out a double to be in there that they... It have to kind of stretch it a little bit, but the people running the show would be like, she's Angela. They'd be oblivious, She figured out how to get someone who looks like her.
Who's probably just like empty in the head or something,
Exactly, and she's not going to move around or anything. She's just going to stand there and be a perfect dummy. So I'd
Yeah.
figure out how she can come
I
back.
mean, that wouldn't be. I'd go with that. Yeah, totally.
It kind of comes back and forth.
If you did it good, if you did it well enough, I'd go
It
with
doesn't get caught in the sense that, like she's busted again.
Yeah.
Like she's still able to do whatever she did to figure out.
But she still has to like go back every once in a while when Ricky visits.
Right.
So she has to still
So
time
that
it
can work out in the
so that she
return where they go,
so she goes back. And
I go back and I see her. So you're like, perfect.
what would be? And I'm not trying to shit on your ideas. I'm just
No, you're
I'm just
good.
curious, just discussing it
Yeah,
because
pick
I'm
away.
interested. What would be her motivation for leaving and killing people?
Well, I mean,
Of course, she wouldn't want to stay, but like, why would? If she's gonna keep going back anyway, just so Ricky can go see her, what's her motivation for leaving and killing people?
not just leaving forever.
This is just to get your brain to like just come up with ideas and stuff.
Right.
Not
Well,
trying to be like, oh, your idea's stupid. I'm just,
I
just
feel like-
discussing it with you because I'm interested.
We could, because for whatever reason, maybe it's because when she first branched out into being Angela,
Yeah.
camp was a huge part of that, or at least
Yeah,
like the
I guess.
place where she was at, where she did it. So it's kind of like almost like comforting, or
Maybe.
makes her feel safe, in that kind of sense. Whereas like this is where she became her own. It's a good memory for her in a weird way. So just feels right.
Because I guess when you think about it, at the end of the first one, maybe I'll share like also because like I said, I had actually had a serious idea for a Sleepaway Camp 2 also. I'm not gonna share it right now. Of course, we're still on yours, but I just say maybe I'll share it here in a minute. Because I was thinking at like the end of the first one, I guess she would have kind of like, at least to some degree, it looked like she did kind of snap finally.
Right.
The way she acted and how she's all like doing her fucking growling
Just
thing, that way she like that
craziness,
face and
yeah.
everything. Like at first she seemed like she could have been like a functioning human being,
Before all that.
and then everything that happened, and then finally killing Paul there on the waterfront, like she kind of just snapped, and that was it. So, I mean that could totally, I guess what you're saying could totally be
Like, maybe
viable. Like
part of her brain for
associates
Ricky
that
is
yeah.
like she can act that way.
A part of her-
I
part
don't want
of
to
her-
say she has like
a
personalities.
part of her brain, like I guess it's part of her wants to keep seeing Ricky, so she goes back.
And
to s-
kind of can be normal.
Yeah, she goes back to see Ricky, so because she wants to see Ricky, but she also goes
This
back
animal-
to the camp. Goes back to the camp or environment or whatever to stalk its prey.
Right, exactly. This kind of like wild animal.
It's got to have blood.
So,
Hemoglobin.
so that she can't like control it. So I'm thinking she
Yeah.
just has like
Or what if
It's an
she
addiction.
can? What if she can? She just
chooses not to.
or it's just she does both.
Right? Or
She's
controls
not.
it
She's
for
not
Ricky.
like I'm a
control-
monster. She's just like, Ricky's just the one she doesn't kill.
Right. I can Hannibal Lecter a little bit. I can be who you want me to be right now, but then
Yeah.
I can't. I have to do this
Why not?
thing,
Yeah, I mean that sounds pretty good.
That'd be nice to make her a little more sophisticated, not
Yeah.
just like a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, once you fully snap like that, who's to say that wouldn't happen?
actually, you know what? That'd be cool if she didn't have to keep going back. She, like you said, found a dead, empty vessel, and then Ricky's okay with it because he's seen her go crazy. He wouldn't second guess her being quiet.
But he would.
What do you recognize?
Well, yeah, I'm saying like physically. Like Ricky
Okay.
would not. Maybe others would like. I like that little idea that I guess of sort of a satirical idea that like those working there at the asylum just don't like or the institution or whatever don't
they're
pay
not
attention,
aware
don't give
enough.
a fuck, so they think it's Angela, they believe it. But like I was thinking like Ricky knows what she looks like. So, I mean,
Okay.
that's what I was asking
So we'll
about.
come back. So she will have to go back just
Yeah.
to kind of.
But
keep him at
I like
ease.
the idea of her going back to see Ricky. I mean, it kind of creates a routine for her and her own twisted mind, I guess, that she has to keep going
She's
back.
doing all right. This is like it's
Yeah.
working out.
Everything's working out. I have this route. I do this regularly. I step out every once in a while and have my double take
Double
over for me,
life.
so I can go do what I like doing, or do what feels right to me, or go hunt mean kids at camp, and then when I have it worked
Just
out
like
so that I come back whenever whenever Ricky comes and visits, I get back in time and I can see him. have it, I guess, like in her world or in her mind, it's not that I have to go back so that Ricky sees me so like I don't get caught or anything. Have it, she goes back because for her, it's not going back so that she doesn't get caught or compromised or whatever, that Ricky finds out. She goes back just because she's like, well, I got to get back in time so I can see Ricky.
It's for Ricky.
Yeah. So she could see Ricky because she wants to go see Ricky. So I got to get back in time. Not like I got to get back in time so nobody knows what I'm doing. I got to get back in time so I can see Ricky. That way I don't miss him.
Not worried about being caught. It's about
she's not worried about being caught. She's worried about seeing Ricky.
Right.
So like in her, that's not in her reality. Is the idea? She doesn't care about that. Like, because like you said, in her world, everything it's like it's all working out. It's all okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just for her, it's like a routine. Like, oh, I got to get back. So, when Ricky visits, I don't miss him, and then I have to wait like another month or whatever, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that kind of plays into, I'm not trying to take over your idea.
No, you're good.
It's kind of, but I like the idea though that I liked that. So that's why I was. And then, it kind of just plays right into Return to Sleepaway Camp, why Ricky thinks he's been seeing her all this time. And then that kind of just plays. And then maybe that kind of goes into I'll show it to you, the post-credit scene. But that idea would almost make the post-credit scene a little more viable, actually. Because the post-credit scene for Return to Sleepaway Camp is supposed to show how she got in that little position where she was disguised as the cop. But it didn't explain how she got out of the insane asylum or institution or loony bin, whatever. But your idea actually would make
would help it.
Yeah, your idea actually would improve it, honestly. So, yeah, I mean, I like the idea. So just any general idea of how it would end, I guess, if she just kills the main kids at camp or whatever. She doesn't kill everyone, I'm guessing, of course.
Not everyone. Maybe not even all the. No, I don't know if that wouldn't be in her character.
No.
She would try to kill as many as she could.
Would you have it do the same? Would you have it do the same routine of escalation? Like she kills one, then another, and then like towards the end she just kills a whole bunch, or would you mix it up a bit? Because that's almost
did that.
That would be almost an interesting formula though, to have her follow that, but then like the story around it changes.
I was thinking.
So like that escalation stays, but it's what's going on around it that's a bit more interesting.
Right. The one death,
and like how the characters react to it.
Right. That one idea though I had for a death would be,
and that's just one more thing, and that's almost like Angela's, I guess, calling card or her routine or whatever. One, then another. One, and then she just goes fucking ballistic towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh yeah. Almost like she tested a bit, and then towards the end she's like, "All right, no one can stop me. Let's go."
Right. Boom.
Yeah.
So that would be good to have, and I think the only thing I would change at the end is that she's not one to let people live, but I think it would be interesting if she was about to kill someone, but gets like something happens where she can't finish the job.
Yeah.
She has to run.
What if maybe she runs into Ronnie again in this one, and that gives Ronnie even more reason to be the way he is in Return?
Or sees her enough.
Yeah.
Where he can't be sure, but he's like, oh my God, that looked...
He has to be like, that's Angela. Like to the point where like maybe he's kind of like, I'm not sure, maybe. And then towards the end, and then just at the end, he's like, that was Angela. That was Angela. She got away. I let her get away. That was Angela.
Maybe bumps in or something. He looks and goes...
Bumps into... What?
Well,
bumps into her like she drops her book. The Blazing Bush Variety Hour with Gage Clark and Taylor Doan will return after this message from our sponsor.
That's jam by Old Virginia, that's the brand to keep in mind. Preserves by Old Virginia, they're the finest you can find. Old Virginia, they're fresh from vine and tree. So remember, Old Virginia, it's the top in quality.
You'll just love Old Virginia goodies like apple sauce, apple butter, tomato juice, apple juice, and the famous Old Virginia preserves and jellies.
We now return you to the Blazing Bush Variety Hour with Gage Clark and Taylor Doan. That's the thing people don't understand. If you don't touch your wound,
it doesn't
just
bleed.
Like, whatever, no matter what it is, like gunshot, just cut, stab, whatever. If you don't touch it, you're fine. Yeah. Nobody understands that. Everybody always touches it. You ever seen somebody get shot? They grab it immediately. That's why they bleed or they die. It's like people don't understand that. I don't get why. You just don't touch it. Everybody knows.
Let it breathe.
Yeah. Just like Return to Sleepaway Camp. Everybody knows that your skin determines the sound of your voice. So when that guy was skinned at the end of Return to Sleepaway Camp, that's why he was like, Ronnie, please, kill me.
Please, do it now.
Kill me, Ronnie. Please.
On the eyes.
Ronnie, life is pain. I beg you.
I know that now.
Life is pain, Ronnie. Every moment I live, I suffer. Kill me.
Do it.
Give me the sweet release of death, Ronnie.
Tell my family I love them.
Angela.
No,
But,
Ronnie, where are you going?
Ronnie, please, come back.
Go. Oh,
But and I imagine that would be fucking painful.
my God.
That had to be.
Just
Well, I mean, of
kill
course
me.
it is, but yeah. But it's like all your nerve
she didn't kill me.
endings just exposed to.
To the oxygen.
You're supposed to have skin. Ask him how cool it is now. And yeah. Anyway, so Tommy, Angie, and then the camper. Mocha. And then the campers would be like fucking David, Joey,
Goliath.
David, Joey, Goliath. That's David's girlfriend. David. It was like David, Joey, Mary, Allie, or Alyssa, or something like that. Peter. That's another one. It's
Different Peter.
well. Okay, so Peter, and then was that 6? It was like David, Joey, Mary,
Allie.
Alyssa, Peter, and I think it was like
Is it Allie, right? Or no?
Allie, Mary, David, Joey, Peter.
5, 6.
It was like another girl. I can't remember what the fuck I named her. It was like
Susie.
I think it was like Susie or Molly. Molly, that was her
Molly.
name. It was the same Molly, the same as the girl from 2. And like they're all around the campfire, and Tommy's all like, telling like a goofy story, and then Angie. Sorry, I got the names mixed up.
Yeah.
Angie starts to tell her own story about the first one, about what happened in the first one. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I heard about that." Blah, blah, blah. And they all start like interrupting her and saying like their theories of what happened. And they all list like theories, except for Peter, because Peter's new to the camp and he didn't know about this. So he doesn't give it. He didn't know that it happened. He's like,
He doesn't give a damn. He doesn't give a shit.
He's like, I'm sorry. What are you talking about, guys? I never heard about this.
Shut up, Peter.
Wink. And then, so like the other 5 kids are like, I heard the killer was arrested and thrown in the loony bin, and I heard she was gunned down by. One's like, I heard she was gunned down by the police. One's like, I heard she ran away and now she was never found, or she ran away but died in the woods. And then one of them's like, I heard she's a counselor. I bet she's a counselor at our camp or something like that.
He goes, no.
But yeah, they all give like their own theories, and like one of them's like she ran away and was never. She ran
Tied
off.
rocks to her legs.
She ran off and wasn't found.
Threw her in the water.
Or she ran off and she died in the woods there at the camp. And one of them's like, she's a counselor at our camp. And so they're all throwing on their theories. Angie's all like, yeah, because her story was ruined. And then Tommy's like, all right, kids, let's go back for lights out. And then my idea was like, Angie puts out the fire, and then it goes to black, and it's like Sleepaway Camp 2 in white text. Oh yeah, Angela gonna murder your ass. Anyway, so then it would play out, and Ronnie is an assistant. Tommy is
director.
Tommy's like the assistant director, head counselor,
okay.
and Ronnie is Tommy's friend who is coming to help this year as a counselor, and he's everyone's there, everyone's kind of introduced, and there's kind of more ideas of who the characters are and shit. And then later it's the camp directors are like, so Ronnie, tell me about yourself. And Ronnie's like, well, I am a head counselor at another camp upstate or whatever, but I actually used to be head counselor at a camp that was just across the lake. So it's set basically in the same area, but it's on the other side of the lake.
Gotcha.
So it's still in the same. It's still basically
Very close. Same.
It's not the same camp, but it's like it is literally just a jog over the pond.
Mm-hmm.
So it's on the other side. He's like, I was head counselor at a camp that used to be on the other side of the lake. And he's like, oh, okay. And then stuff plays out.
Very nice, very nice.
Kids start getting killed off. Mean kids start getting killed off. But mean in a certain way.
Right.
And that starts happening. And of course it's like 1, 2, or whatever. And then as it escalates, Ronnie's all like, I've seen this before. And he's like, oh shit, this is happening again.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what are you talking about? I didn't get to write it all down, so it's also like you said, it's kind of jumbled in my head. But I don't, not digging at you, but I had a more solid idea in my head. Like I really did know. I was trying to write it all down because I knew like I knew how it ended. I knew what was going on and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ronnie is like, I've seen this before. And the main 6 kids or whatever, a couple of them get picked off after a while, and I think it was David or Joey. It was like specifically one of the guys. I think it was David and Mary were together, or they were like starting to get together this year at camp. And David's kind of
suspicious.
He's suspicious. He hears because they all heard about what happened in the first movie, and they knew the name was Angela Baker, or at least Angela. David kind of starts to suspect. They hear it's Angela Baker, then Peter Baker. Peter. So there's an Angie and there's a Peter at camp. So,
because you haven't seen Angela yet, right?
Right. We haven't seen Angela yet. We don't know. Technically, you don't know who's killing people because it's still kind of hiding it like the first one did.
Perfect.
And so, but there's Angie and there's Peter, and so David's like, I can't, cause I didn't get it all down, so it's not really in order. But like basically, at one point, someone's like, well, Peter Baker was the killer. Could it be Peter? No, it couldn't be Peter. Peter's too young. Because I'm thinking it's still in the same age range as the first movie. All the kids or whatever are getting killed, or the victims. So it's not like in the second and third one where it's basically like teenagers, but they're like 18, 19 or whatever, or 17. This one they're it's back to like 12 to 16, 17, whatever. They're like, no, Peter's too young. Peter's like 13, 14, and Angela / Peter in the first one was like 14. It's like 13, 14 when she killed all those people, and these years later she would be like 19, 20 or something. So she would be 19, 20. So it doesn't add up. So it's not Peter. And so. But it was going to be built up kind of like it could be Peter or whatever, because he never heard about what happened. He was new at camp. He was kind of almost a little bit of a reflection of what Angela was in the first movie.
Before,
when he's kind of like quiet to himself, not as much as Angela, but still kind of quiet to himself.
Compared to everyone else.
And then some people are kind of poking at him or whatever, and sorry, I just fucking lost track there. People are kind of poking at him. The girl Molly is kind of sympathetic towards him, and he and her start to have a bit of a thing. And people are getting picked off, and suspiciously the people that were kind of poking at him or whatever, like bullying him. And so it's like, could it be Peter? Well, no, it can't be Peter. He's too young. He's not Angela, but they all think it's Angela. I mean, I know it could technically still be Peter, but I mean, also be revealed that he kind of has an alibi for the stuff that happens. Also, Molly's like, well, it couldn't be him. We were doing stuff.
Right.
So it's like, basically, it's not Peter. He's crossed out completely. And it's like, David's like, it's Angie. She's a new counselor this year. Angela Baker. She's a woman. And there was another one of the theories that I forgot to list was someone said she got someone joked about the counselor thing. Someone joked that she got a full sexual reassignment and was now a counselor at their camp or something. Or someone said she was let out and got a full sexual reassignment. It was something along those lines. And so he's like, there you go. It's her. It's Angie. She got the full sexual reassignment. She's disguising herself as a counselor at our camp. She's killing people. David's convinced it's her. Mary's like, David, you shouldn't do that. And then there's like one night, and he's like, also Angie's the one who started the story. Tell us about it that night. And she knows what happened. And she like listed, and like she listed the kills too. Like she was telling about who got killed and everything. And he's like, she knows all what happened. It's her. It's Angie. And so it's like there's one night David's suspicious of her. And like they're fucking out in the woods. He's like, I know it's you. Or they're somewhere. My idea was like, he's like, I know it's you, Angela. He's like, I'm gonna stop you from doing this. She's like, no, it's not me or whatever. And Mary's like, David, wait, don't. And, no, David, don't. But basically, David like accidentally, but also a little bit on purpose, kills Angie. Like I was thinking, like he accidentally pushes her off of like a little fucking cliff or little drop that's just far enough onto some rocks and it kills her. He accidentally kills her somehow, whatever, or maybe on purpose. Whatever. Basically, she's dead. Maybe not by David's hand. And then, like that same night, because everything's escalating now and people are getting killed. That same night, I was thinking in the woods or maybe on the edge of them, whatever. That's Ronnie runs out trying to find, because he talks about what happened. He's telling the counselor, he's telling them like what's going on. And he's like, we need to make sure everyone's safe, whatever. It's almost becoming a reflection of the first movie. And Ronnie runs out trying to find. He's like, David, Mary, and Angie. Oh, I need to find them. And so he goes out like with a flashlight by himself. Mm-hmm. And then I was thinking here, it starts to kind of cut sort of back and forth between like that night and the next morning or the next day or whatever.
Okay.
When like there are like police at the camp or whatever, things like that. Or like police, I guess, ambulance, paramedics or whatever to pick up the dead bodies, you know what I mean? So basically once the camp's a crime scene and people are leaving and shit. So I figured it starts to kind of cut back between the, in a way where you can, of course, tell the difference, do it well, and it cuts back in between. Ronnie's like, I gotta find them, and they're like, David is like accusing Angie and accidentally kills her, and then Ronnie's talking to an officer, like an officer, Tommy, and like the camp director or whatever, and he's like, found Angie, and they're like, Ronnie, you knew Angie. Ronnie's like, I knew Angie. I can identify her. I knew her. And like, Ronnie, how did you know Angie? And it's, well, she used to be a camper at the camp across the lake. She was not there the year everything happened because she went on a trip with her parents. Her name's Angelica Johnson, not Angela Baker. But she went by Angie. So it wasn't her either. And Ronnie can testify to it. Mm-hmm. Ronnie can attest. So David killed this person, basically, thinking it was Angela. But it's revealed that neither Peter nor Angie are the killers. Right.
Okay.
And, of course, that twist is hopefully done a little bit better than me just here explaining it. But, you know, you hope it was engaging enough trying to sum it all up. So he's like, it's not her. Her name was Angelica Johnson. She was at Camp Arawak, but she was not there the year that the massacre happened because she went on instead of coming to the camp, like she usually did, she went on a trip with her family. Mm-hmm. So she wasn't there. And so she had heard about it. She knew about it, but she wasn't there. So that's why she wasn't like haunted by everything that happened.
Right.
That's why she was so nonchalant about it, which is another thing David was bothered by. She kind of just started telling the story like willy-nilly. And or something like that. You get that. David has all his theories as to why.
Right.
So
David.
And it cuts back and forth kind of that night. Ronnie also, I was thinking either that day or like maybe a little bit earlier on, he's talking to the camp director and like the counselors or whatever, talking about what happened at Arawak and what happened to Angela. It's shown that Angela did not get arrested. My idea was that, because like I was saying earlier, Angela there on the waterfront when she killed Paul, she snapped, and I was thinking went a little bit, I guess, crazy or just feral. And you know how the first one ended with Ronnie and that other counselor, Susie, finding her on the waterfront. Well, it's shown that, I don't have all the details worked out about exactly how it will play out, but basically I was thinking maybe Angela ends up killing Susie, or at least hurting Susie very badly, and then just to where Ronnie has to tend to Susie instead of Angela. Angela books it, and she's just gone. Runs off into the woods, whatever, gets away, no one finds her. And then as it's shown that night, Ronnie catches up. David and Mary are they're like, Mary's like, you killed Angie, David, and David's like, yeah, I got her, and then
You idiot.
Then Mary's like, David, you hear that? What's that? And then they're like, oh, we took it, and they turn, and there is this dirty, naked, just figure, just feral, hair's all long and fucking wild and mangled, and it's Angela.
Bum, bum, bum.
The Angela. And she's the one who's been killing everybody. And Ronnie's trying to catch up, and then it cuts back to daytime, and he's like, you think it was the cops or whoever, they're like, you think it was the same Angela Baker or Angela Peter Baker from the first movie. Yeah, because they refer to it as the first movie, not the massacre, right? Because they're fully aware as to what's going on. They know they're
So
in
you
a
think
movie.
it was the same one from the first movie?
You think it was Felissa Rose who killed everyone? Is that?
I do.
And Ronnie's like, yeah, I do. And he's like, well, where do you think she went, or why do you think she came back? And he's like, and he says, and they're like, oh, why do you think she came back? And Ronnie says, I don't think she ever left. And then the movie ends with Angela looking like, we just see Angela's face. It just ends on Angela's face. Ronnie's catching up, and finally he's just kind of like in the woods, doesn't know where they are, and but he knows she's there, and maybe he sees her just off in the distance. He just catches her before she kills them, gets away, or whatever, and he just screams, Angela, like he just screams her name.
Catches her?
He doesn't catch her.
Okay.
But he's just too late.
He can see her.
But maybe he sees her getting away, or she's cancer, or even then, just by just sheer fucking passion and feeling, he knows it's her, and maybe he's too late and he finds David and Mary and Angie all dead, but he knows it's her still, of course, and he's just like, Angela, and he just screams her name at the top of his lungs in the dead of the night in the woods. But the movie, I was thinking, ends at the scene where David and Mary are, and it ends with Ronnie. You hear Ronnie screaming her name. You don't see him, but you hear him screaming her name.
And the visual.
And then the visuals, Angela's face, and her doing the iconic face, or something's very similar to that. Of course, it's the
Wide
older
eyes.
Angela now,
Right.
the wide eyes, but maybe it's a little bit closer and looking at the camera, directly at the camera, and
Instead
then
of off to the side.
Yeah, and then it fades to black, but the whites of her teeth and her eyes stay as it fades to black, and then the rest of it fades or cuts or whatever, and that's where it ends.
That'd be good.
That was my idea for Sleepaway Camp 2.
That would look creepy.
Yeah.
If she had like crazy and like dirt.
Oh yeah, because that was my idea. Is
dark.
at the end of the first one, that's because what she does. They're on the waterfront. She snaps and she just becomes feral.
Right.
Like Angela's gone. Angela, Peter, they're gone. Like she's just fucking done now. She's like an animal basically now. She just runs.
Exactly.
She fucking bolts it into the woods. And then that was my idea for Sleepaway Camp 2. I hope you like it.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Yeah, I was wanting to do kind of a twist there too, mix
I
it
like
up
the
where
twist.
it's not Peter and it's not Angie either, but you can Peter. It's like, well, no, he's too young, so that's kind of killed pretty early on. But you think like it has to be Angie. Angie's the one doing it. We don't see it, but it's Angie, and then Angie gets killed, and then it's Angela still.
But
and it's like
you could think maybe Peter's like you just
but
don't
yeah,
know.
Okay, but definitely.
Right?
Sorry,
Even if you think
yeah.
the age, just like
It's like,
maybe
it could be, but then it's just like Molly gives him an alibi. She's like, no, he was with me and we were doing this or whatever. Because he and Molly, I was figuring, kind of have a thing. Or they start to, kind of like Paul and Angela did, which also kind of creates that sort of mirror or that parallel. And it's like, is it the same thing? And then it's not. She's like, no, it wasn't. He was with me when this happened or this person was killed, whatever. And they're like, okay, so it's not Peter. What if it's Angie? It has to be Angie. It all adds up, of course, right? David's like, it all adds up, of course. And Mary's like, I don't know. I just don't know. And then what happens. And again, it also gives Ronnie. Cause I was thinking maybe at the end of the first one, Angela killed
reason.
Susie. So Ronnie's like, Susie, no. And then Angela got away. She killed Susie. She got away. She killed David and Mary, maybe Angela, whatever, and Angie or whatever, and got away. And again, it gives Ronnie more reason to just be like,
she's everywhere.
Angela.
Angela.
And then my idea for the third one was, I guess, not as detailed. It was still very loose, but this is where I said like it got away kind of from what the idea was of just the whole slasher thing. But it was still supposed to complete the arc of Angela. There's nowhere near as much to it, but the idea was more like Ricky gets involved in this one too. In the third one.
Where's Ricky in the second one?
He's not. He's not. He's just not
Okay.
there. But then the third one idea was kind of, well, there's not nearly as much to the third one. I didn't get to work on it at all. I worked more on the second one than I did the third one. Because by the time I was starting to work on the third one, I was like, you know what? Never mind. But apparently I should have kept going. Because apparently I should have kept going. Because I guess it wasn't that bad of an idea. But the third one ended more with, it was supposed to just, instead of still being straight up horror, at least personally for me, it was just supposed to end give closure to the Angela thing or whatever.
Right.
The saga. And that, yeah, the Angela saga. Yeah, and basically she just, Ronnie fucking is obsessed with Angela now, or at least somewhat trying to catch her. The thing is, it was trying to figure out how all of the stuff for the third one would happen, which is difficult enough already. So
different
it was
location,
different location, different camp. Or like, what he tracking her down, but how does he track her down? And he
would it kind of be like two different stories going along?
Sort of.
You're
that's what I was thinking.
him,
That's what I was thinking. It's sort of you're following him,
her.
but you're following also this another camp is getting attacked by Angela or whatever. I was thinking,
or it looks like
I was
her.
Yeah, or I was wondering like maybe it's either it's set again sometime after the second movie, or just like almost right after the second movie, almost. And like Ronnie's just fucking on the hunt.
Right. I'd like to pick off your idea. I like that you didn't have her seen.
Yeah.
Like it was just nice to have like she's there, but she's not like on the nose.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my god, doing
again,
all these stupid one-liners.
The idea was to create that suspense,
right?
Like with the Peter and Angie, and I just wanted to mix it up a bit. Not just repeat the first one, but still have some of the beats that made the first one work. And so her not being seen, like you said, also the one-liner thing and all that shit, yeah. But also helped just to create the suspense, like, and so it's like, could it be Peter? Could it be Angie? And it's just like, no, it's Angela. And it's another twist like the first one, but not the same thing, but also, I guess, kind of the same image also, because it's just like fucking bare-ass naked Angela just standing there going,
right, but it's just like,
but it's still... But it doesn't feel, trying to do it in a way that doesn't feel cheap or like it's copying. It's like, oh shit, like it's almost pretty much the same thing. Yeah, of course, and you could really argue that a lot of movies are the same thing. But it just works still, because
that's where you left off.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh shit, well it's happened again, but you don't think, oh, it's just doing this again. It's like, oh shit, it's just like it's just like the first one.
Right.
But it's more in a more excited way. Right. It's like. It's just creates that suspense, and it does another twist, but not the same twist as the first one. Getting real twisty, but real twisted vision.
Stretch.
But like it just pulls you around and stuff, and in a similar way, but it still mixes it up. And
what were you gonna call it? Sleepaway 2?
Just Sleepaway Camp 2, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I was more asking you just for fun, like if you had an idea, but I just think it's Sleepaway Camp 2.
No, I asked because I was wondering...
The Return.
Yeah, The Return. Before The Return. I was just asking because I was wondering...
And I should say, in my Sleepaway Camp universe, Return to Sleepaway Camp doesn't happen.
Okay.
Just want to know.
One.
Yeah. I'll finish giving you my ideas about the third one after you say what you were going to say.
I was going to say... So, watch it, because if you didn't name it Sleepaway Camp 2, then you could watch it and be like, what's going on? But it still works. If you know it's Angela, where is she? She must be doing it, where is she? And then, even though you're thinking, well, okay, maybe she's Peter, or maybe she's Angie, maybe she's going to pop out, maybe I've seen her. And then, oh my God,
I guess you could almost, I guess... Are you saying like you could almost watch it and it just still be good as not a Sleepaway Camp movie?
Yeah, if you didn't know it was Sleepaway Camp, you'd be like,
I
oh
guess.
shit. But it is, so it's okay that it's Sleepaway Camp 2, I think.
I wasn't thinking about it like this, but I guess also it could kind of work just as its own thing too. You could just watch it not looking at it as Sleepaway Camp and it still works. I mean, you don't really have to know. You don't really have to have seen the first one. I mean, they tell you what happens basically.
I think that's a good movie, right? If you just watch it and go,
that's a great...
It makes it better.
That's actually what makes the Indiana Jones movie so good. Yeah, we're comparing Sleepaway Camp to Indiana Jones. That's what makes the Indiana Jones, the first three, so
comparing good. If your movie came to life.
Yeah.
Not the ones now.
But
Indiana Jones separate movies are great.
They're all separate. The Indiana Jones trilogy, we're discarding the fourth one.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that makes them so great is they're all their own movies. They're their own adventures. Like you can watch. There is technically an order to watch them in. It's like Raiders, Temple, then Crusade.
Yeah.
Is the order to watch them in. But I mean, you can watch them in any order. It's be like, which one are you watching? I'm watching the one with the Temple of Doom. I'm watching that one. Oh, cool.
He has to get something and live. You're like, okay, yeah, I can watch it.
Yeah, it's like they're all their own thing. You don't have to watch any one to watch the other.
Right. It is nice though, if yours was made, that you've seen one and go, oh, okay.
But you could still.
You don't have to.
I was thinking doing it in a way where, like in 2, they give enough information about what happened in the first one that you don't really have to watch the first one, but also in a way that it's not like overflowing with exposition and just like it's just like they're talking about like, oh, this happened. Like Ronnie kind of helps be like, well, this is what happened, or like the kids tell the story.
Right.
Ronnie tells what happened and everything.
So I've seen plenty of movies where it's just like a one shot movie, and they have like stories about that to give you a little detail and go, okay, so that's the story, that's the whatever it is. And like maybe comes back, oh, there's a killer in the woods that comes and gets you, and then it does happen. So yours could work if you didn't see anything.
Yeah.
It's nice if you did, because you're like, oh, I know what you're talking. You know, but so I think Sleepaway Camp 2 would work perfectly, and I like how it plays where you don't see her, just like the first one. You don't know who the hell's the killer, and then
we could call this one like,
gotcha.
just gotcha.
Naked man.
Naked man. The Blazing Bush Variety Hour with Gage Clark and Taylor Doan will return after this message from our sponsor.
Listen to the sounds of freshness. Sounds of freshness.
We now return you to
the sounds of freshness.
That ending shot, really, my idea for the ending shot was
That's
like,
creepy.
I was like, you know what, I like that. Like I don't remember exactly how I came up with the idea, but it was just like, what if Angela's the killer, but the twist is, again, that she's the killer? I was like, I was just kind of like, how could I do that twist again? Not like, oh, let me just do the twist again, it'll work. Yeah, it was just like, Angela's the killer again. How can I make that interesting? What if that's the twist again? How can I make that the twist again in a way that's not like, well, they're just doing that again?
Twist on who Angela is.
Yeah, like how can I make that the big reveal again, but in a way that's interesting and not just the exact same thing. So it's now this time it's not that she's the killer and she's a guy. It's just that she
was the killer.
She was we were just like we thought she was the killer, but she wasn't who we thought. We didn't it wasn't Peter, it wasn't Angie. It wasn't Angela disguising as Angie or whatever. It was just fucking Angela. She just never left.
Yeah. And you never saw her.
Yeah.
Never left. Same area.
Yeah. Just like just the camp just across the lake. Yeah.
So, do you have any ideas for any deaths?
No, that was the problem. I was so focused on getting on working out the twist well enough because that was my biggest focus. The deaths you can.
Yeah, that comes later.
I mean, we could actually take some from fucking 2 and 3. Actually, some of them were pretty good.
That's what I really liked the flagpole one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that one maybe would. It's also doing them in a way that works with Angela never being seen, which that one could work too. I mean, it did in the third one, kind of, but
without being too weird, without showing that person, just have her going up and basically yelling to no one because you don't get to see who's yanking them up. But that some people see they'd be farther away maybe or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's not a flagpole. Maybe it's something else that they pull up.
Stuff similar to Return. Return had some interesting ones, I guess, that could work with you not seeing who it was.
Having them dressed up, right? Because that was the main thing.
I don't know. I can't think of any reason why Angela at this point would do that though, because she's kind of gone pretty much all the way crazy.
Yeah, she doesn't care. Almost. When you see her, you're probably gonna die, so it doesn't matter.
I feel like a lot of the kills, I don't want to not necessarily, I guess animalistic, but not really.
I think they could be.
Yeah,
it would be
a lot more. I felt like at this point maybe they'd be a lot more brutal. So also you'd be like, Jesus, whoever the killer is now is like just really insane.
Like I think we both agree it wouldn't be like a gunshot.
No, it wouldn't be a gun.
Maybe not even like a knife. It would just maybe. But like it would just be.
Maybe she kept the knife.
It would.
She has this rusty, dirty fucking knife.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
But not just like it would just be animalistic.
Like she slashes and just
You know,
carving and
just-
shit. And just like really brutal. And it's just like whoever's
brutal.
doing this is just
really
like
brutal.
ruthless and just mean. And it's like once it's revealed, yeah, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
She's feral.
She's not
She's
gonna
just
be
lost.
like,
She's gone.
using poison or whatever, like stuff like that. It's gonna be
No.
just intense, savage.
No, I mean that would make sense at this point because that was one of my biggest things with Angela at the end of the first film. She looked like she was just. The fuck? That was my biggest thing with Angela at the end of the first film. It looked like she was gone.
Well, yeah,
like that was
his head.
it.
She was cradling a headless man or the head.
And as soon as Ronnie and them came up, they're like, Angela,
no words.
And then her,
You know?
and in her head she hears, "You like, wouldn't you like that?" Or that just sound, "Don't you think so, Peter?" Or whatever. And then that's just it. She gets up and she's doing that fucking growling sound, making that face, and just like staring at. When I went back and looked at the footage when I was doing the third episode, it was you could see later she was actually. It was easy to see she was actually looking at Ronnie and Susie. But location.
Were they over there and the camera's right here?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That I figured that out. At first, I was like, yeah, where was she looking? Then I thought about it. I was like, then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? She's actually. I could see that she's actually looking at them. Because like if you just based on how the camera like just the location, I guess the camera and the direction and everything, it's like actually yeah I could totally see her. She's supposed to be looking at them. Mm-hmm. Like they're coming from this direction. Because I when I went back and watched, I was like, okay, so they're coming from this direction. And they're looking over here, and it moves up to Angela, and she looks, and she's like, and she's looking at them. So like, because that would be kind of weird for her to just like stand up and just like look off to the fucking side.
Right.
So I was like, I think she's supposed to be looking at Ronnie and Susie.
So.
But yeah, so that was my idea was that she's gone.
Be just
She's just she's out.
She shouldn't be like coming back and.
She's not. We're snapping.
Ooh, what's up, guys? I'm a cool cat now.
Anyway, so yeah. I don't think it just sure maybe, but it's just like we liked Pamela Springsteen, but I just don't see Angela coming back and being like that.
Yeah, me neither.
It just if she gets locked up, she's got to be like fucking locked up and basically retaught everything. I would almost say, because it's almost like she went on like some sort of primal reset, is what it looked like to me when on that waterfront, where she just turned into an animal basically. So that kind of inspired that thought.
That makes sense. Mine would have to be, she'd have to be a little more Hannibal Lecter-ish, where they...
Yeah.
Like
I like your idea, too.
Yeah.
I like that, yeah. And then, I guess, so my thing for the third one was just sort of... I guess because in the second one, I think the camp was supposed to be somewhere near...
I think so. They didn't
the
do
first
a great
camp.
job.
They said that it was supposed to be nearby, or
of
a little bit away from there, like just a
Yeah.
few miles away. So I was thinking maybe do something with that, like Angela, like she gets away and she runs off and she wanders to that camp and starts kind of doing the same thing. Ronnie, like you said, maybe like side by side. It's like they got another Sleepaway Camp movie going on this end, and then Ronnie's like hunting her down, and then Ronnie contacts Ricky somehow gets into contact with Ricky, and he's like, Angela's back. Like you got to help me stop her, because I think she's back to doing it. She's gonna do it again, and I don't want this. She got away, and
she has to be
but basically,
stopped.
It's like Ricky's like, okay, so Ricky's on his way, and then you got a third movie where it's a road trip movie with Ricky.
I see a random boat rising.
Ronnie's got to go to that camp, find Angela without costume. That's the thing, is like I haven't worked out everything with this movie yet, so I guess we can almost fucking do that right here, really. And so like Ricky is coming down. So yeah, now we're right here together. We're doing Sleepaway Camp 3. I was thinking, like, yeah, of course they meet, but maybe at the camp, maybe wherever, I don't know. But Ronnie contacts Ricky, and he's like, Angela's back, or like I found like Angela's around. She's killing me.
I have reason to believe she's back.
Yeah, I have reason to believe she's back, and I think she's going to nearby or whatever. We got to stop her, and Ricky's like,
she's gonna do it again.
Ricky's like, all right. And I think it's totally believable that Ricky would jump at that.
I think so.
Yeah, because I mean, I mean,
got a
he's
soft
shown
spot
to
for
have
her.
some connection to Angela.
Right.
So I think at this point, maybe his motive, Ronnie, and with Ricky and Ronnie, my idea was that Ronnie's motivation is just to stop Angela by whatever means necessary, kill her, whatever. Because he's kind of like, even at this point, he's going a little crazy
right,
too,
a little
maybe.
gone.
And
Ricky though.
Ricky, he is his goal.
Fuck you, have fun.
Angela can walk, baby. Ronnie wants to stop Angela by whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, yes.
If killing her. Because I figured, like he said, at this point, maybe he even's kind of breaking down.
He's losing it a little.
Yeah, and for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of get it.
But Ricky,
he just wants to get Angela.
Help her.
Right? He just wants to get Angela. Like all this time, he's always wondered where Angela was, and or maybe like we kind of reveal at least a little bit. He's kind of like always. Because that was his cousin, but I guess also based on the situation that was hinted at in the first movie, even like his sister almost to a degree.
Right, they're super close.
They were shown to be super close. Hell, even Return to Sleepaway Camp hinted at them being really close. Just the way he was like always supposed to be always visiting her, or in your Sleepaway Camp universe, how he's always visiting her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and even she also, I guess, would be super close to him. Definitely.
Right. He was never in danger. You know?
He was he was certainly never in danger around Angela. I mean, she even killed people for him.
Right.
So those two are definitely close. Ricky just wants Angela back, or just wants to find Angela, help her, just wants to get her. I guess save her. Save her. Whatever that means, he wants to find Angela and save her.
Mm-hmm.
So Ricky, they don't exactly have this. I also wanted that dynamic. They don't exactly have the same goal in mind.
They want to find her.
They both want to find her.
But that's where it
But
ends.
what they want to do when they find her, that's when they split.
Yeah.
So, but that's not totally clear, at least to each of them respectively at this point. We kind of get the idea, but they each are just like, all right, find Angela, and then it clashes and it kind of goes apart.
When it gets there. Yeah.
So that's a bridge we cross when we come to it. So now we got to build that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I guess what would Angela just move on to that nearby camp? Maybe
I was thinking. Want to show her doing that?
I was thinking maybe when she gets away
we don't have
from
to show her. We can.
Well, I mean, what was Sleepaway Camp 3 be? Just like a fucking suspense thriller? What? That was my thing. That's what I was talking about. For me, Sleepaway Camp 3 was almost like a personal thing, just in my head. With the first two, was like just to finish Angela's arc. Because I was like, what would Sleepaway Camp 3 be? And I just kept getting in my head, this idea that I will. You'll see what it is once we're done. Was this particular idea that I thought, well, it doesn't feel like it could be a slasher movie, whereas the first two could. This is less of a slasher. I guess still a little bit of a horror film, or at least it's like some sort of thrilling film, but like it's just more to complete. It's less focused on continuing the slasher vibe or horror vibe or whatever than it is just finishing like you said, the saga or the story, completing the whole thing with Angela. That's all it was. That's how I see it. Right. So we could still go to the camp, totally.
Right. Because she. So.
But of course, Ricky and Ronnie got to meet, but it's like focus. I don't think there's a whole lot interesting stuff to see with like the road trip movie with Ricky.
Right. And they just need you to see them together.
Yeah.
Coming to look for Angela.
So I guess.
So they want to jump more on Angela.
Yeah. So it's like how exactly would Ronnie track her, or where would he track her to? So I guess that's why I thought, well, in Sleepaway Camp 2, they mention that camp was nearby. So I figured maybe she's just there is a nearby camp.
Would you
also
want this
a nearby
lake
summer camp
to have all these places? Not all of them, but whatever, how many camps, and they figure, well, she has to be around here somewhere.
Yeah, maybe it has like a couple. There's summer camp over here. There's summer camp across the lake. Then maybe like just a little bit up the shore. Maybe like just a few miles, maybe like 10 miles or so.
One.
There's another one. Yeah.
So they could
that's
be
pretty.
like,
that's 10 miles. Well, that's pretty far for at least like for a walk or whatever. So yeah, I think that's totally believable. Maybe that summer camps would totally be nearby
close
like
enough,
that,
but not where they're going to be overlapping.
Yeah.
And
so she kind of just like goes up the way to another camp.
Right.
Should we make it that she maybe while Ronnie's tracking her, she hits a couple of camps, or should we just do one? I'm thinking maybe just one.
One, but like maybe passes someone else, like maybe I don't want to say a hunter. That's where the camps are, but like I don't want her to be like a Bigfoot or like an alien.
Right.
where she's kind of like spotted and they're tracking her.
Yeah.
But
I feel like it's more just a Ronnie thing. I feel like she's a little, like Angela specifically, no one be looking for that. Like maybe people know what happened at the first camp, and the second camp. I was thinking, because if we're going with this, I'm thinking it happens right after the second movie. So the second camp isn't. I mean, of course, it's big news, but it's not widely known yet. Like it just happened, basically, almost. Like at the very most, once the movie ends, it's been like maybe what, no more than a week, no more than a week, if even. Like I was thinking, Ronnie gets on her trail pretty fast, and Ricky comes down.
And yeah, so then we could say something about maybe someone saw something.
I was thinking maybe Ricky wouldn't be that far away.
Right. There's other camps in the area. Maybe.
Yeah, and Ronnie's like, there's other camps in the area.
Maybe.
I'm thinking Angela's gonna move on to one next. We got to figure out where she's gonna be at.
Let's go check them,
and
then we can go from there.
Ronnie meets up with Ricky. Ricky comes down and
gets him.
You know, they have their little reunion. It's like, ah. And then
do you want them to be following her, or do they come and meet her?
It's just like you see a map of all the camps in the area, and it's like you just see like Ronnie and Ricky's head. Ronnie and Ricky's heads just like each have like a line behind them, and Angela's got like a line just like.
How did you beat us? By all means, I don't know.
So I guess that's the thing. It's like, so how exactly?
Or maybe she's at one and she's just chilling there.
Maybe stalking, or something.
Stalking them.
I was thinking the campers, of course.
Oh, okay. So
like she's just doing the same thing.
Are coming. She stalks them. Is she gonna see them? Because they're gonna be kind of caught in the middle.
So I get that probably raises a question though. Why hasn't this whole area just been like fucking locked down, or like just why is it still inhabited? Because like Angela would just be stalking and killing everyone. Because I guess my idea for the second one was sort of, because we're kind of just all making this up as we go along, which is fine. My idea for the second one was that this camp is not extraordinarily new, but fairly. The second camp in the second movie, the camp is fairly new, not like incredibly, but maybe like just like a month old or something. Like this is maybe the first year of camp.
So they just know about the one camp?
Well, maybe not the first year of camp, but like it's just. It's a couple years old, whatever, a few years. So I was thinking some of the campers already know each other.
But fairly new.
Yeah, fairly new, and like I guess just Angela just comes across it. Maybe.
Could be.
So it's like, because then you could easily ask like, why hasn't Angela just been doing this all the time? How come no one's heard of this? So it's, which I mean, that's a plot. We could easily ignore some plot holes,
right?
Because like it's
the 80s. Cell phones.
Because you know we're totally making this for real. So anyway,
just changes it up. Whoa, he's a leprechaun.
She still has this sort of like sense.
There's a code.
This I guess, or this instinct to just like she's too
serial killer
she's
code.
Sort of I had the word and it just left me. She's sort of, I guess, privy to mean kids, or that's sort of what she's.
Cruel people.
Yeah.
She can sense that.
Yeah,
vibe,
I guess.
energy.
Yeah, a sense, or she's got that sort of vibe. That's what she goes for. That's what she preys on. So something like that. Hence why why she only killed mean kids in the second one, or in my second one, and so in this one that's
the first one too.
Yeah, and the Return to Sleepaway Camp even.
Yeah.
But in my universe, Return to Sleepaway Camp didn't happen because of what's going to happen in the third one, ideally. At least ideally for me. So they follow her to this camp, and she then. I guess they follow her to this camp, or they try to track her down to one of these camps, and I guess she hangs out at this one camp and is just stalking people, ready to do it again. But this time Ronnie and Ricky, I guess, catch up to her somehow. I guess maybe they'd have to go to a camp or two, right? At least one or two kills would have to happen first.
Right, to get word or do they find
something.
Anything? Do they see blood?
Maybe do they just happen upon the right camp, or they go to one camp and they start heading out to the woods, and they come and they just wander far enough to find the other camp, or they hear a scream or something, like they're in the right area.
Or they're checking another one. It'd be too easy to find the right one.
Yeah.
Unless they found the right one, nothing happened yet, so they keep moving.
That would be interesting, yeah.
But maybe they go somewhere else and then they stumble upon. So they'll do a mini little. Like a scavenger? No, that's not the right word, but like
scouting or something.
They'll go somewhere and they'll find a dead body, and but it'll be a little too late where they have to.
And maybe they'll have like a T-shirt from that other camp.
Right.
They'll be wearing like one of that.
And then they find her, but it's like, damn it, or
Mr.
we were just here, and
Yeah, we just missed her. And
Right.
And so I was thinking that happens, and instead of her like constantly, it builds up to her killing again. Like, okay, well, it's going to build up to her killing. Maybe she kills like 1 or 2 or 3 people, and it's going to start escalating. And then finally, just when things would start escalating generally is when Ricky and Ronnie catch up. And I was thinking, Ronnie's like, okay, this is it, we gotta catch her or whatever. And Ronnie somehow, I guess there's a fucking hunter in the area, which actually maybe wouldn't make sense. Maybe
he wandered too far.
I'm in Albuquerque.
What is that? A white deer.
Anyway, so I was thinking Ronnie. It's got the agility of one, the stamina.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But I was thinking Ronnie maybe just somehow, or maybe he had one beforehand. He already had one with him when they were scouting. He gets a gun, like maybe a rifle or something. I don't have how he.
Maybe in his craziness, he takes it.
Yeah.
He says like, "We need to do this," and the guy's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You're not taking me seriously."
Well, maybe like maybe would there be one at one of the camps at a summer camp back then? Would they have a gun? Probably not.
Yeah, if it's they might maybe like a little handgun if they had anything, but
or cop. Actually, yeah, cop or something, like cop in the area or whatever.
But, back then, I don't think.
Maybe because it continues off the second movie. He steals a gun, like he sneaks a gun from one of the police or something.
Okay.
Maybe something like that, like when no one's looking. Like
hides it in a certain spot that
because he's like, I'm gonna go catch Angela, so he takes the gun, maybe something like that. So I guess like a handgun or whatever. And yeah, sure, we'll go with that. It's a hypothetical movie.
Right.
So
maybe he gets it when he picks up Ricky to come over or something like that.
Yeah.
Hides it in the back of
the
truck.
Yeah, he and Ricky figured out, and Ricky's like, we gotta get Angela, and Ronnie's like, we got it. Ricky's like, we gotta get Angela. Ronnie's like, we gotta get Angela. And so they catch up, and Ronnie's like, keep everyone away from the woods, keep everyone just like, make sure everyone's here, get it, like almost like what's happening usually at the escalation or whatever. But this time, like, Angela hasn't got to the point where she's instead of this is just when Angela would be starting,
right.
And so like maybe like at this point only maybe 2-3 campers have been killed at the most. And then Ronnie's like, go ahead and get everyone, just trust me on this. And they're like, you got to stop. Get everyone, people are dying.
Okay.
And like, get all these people ready, call the police, that sort of thing or whatever. Like, okay. And he's like, get everyone away, get everyone like in their bunks or whatever, all together, make sure everyone knows where everyone's at.
Right.
And then, or fucking maybe Ronnie, actually, yeah, there you go. Instead of sneaking a gun, Ronnie, he's like, call the police arrive, and Ronnie just acquires a gun. Somehow. Still steals it from the police officer.
Yeah, would it be interesting or weird to have him like accidentally or kind of out of his, what's the word I'm looking for?
Character?
Well, no, just like his, he's like, you guys are not understanding how serious this is. Like, knocks him out or something, the cop. And he's like, I need to save everyone because they didn't see what he saw.
Maybe, yeah, maybe something along the. I don't know about knocks out. I don't know if he assaults a police officer, but I guess I kind of see what you're saying. He's like, maybe he takes a gun and runs off or something like that. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
We have to stop her, like he's just
stop her and he runs off and he's like, hey, and he and Ricky, oh, it's mine. He and Ricky are off into the woods and Angel's out there, or fuck, maybe it's not off in the woods, maybe it's fucking in the camp or whatever. Whatever.
Maybe?
Just basically this. It comes to this. Angela's there. Cabins. Angela's ready to kill, or whatever. And I was thinking like, and this is how I had it in my head. Like Ricky, basically, I was thinking I was thinking maybe it's
girl.
I said, come on, Angela. Come on. She starts.
She's about to do it. Head Angela.
What's great is you're not that far off from what I was thinking.
Nice. Okay, continue.
Well, aside from the dog thing, so I was thinking it's okay. So imagery for me is important. So it's nighttime at this point, or it's getting to be nighttime. It's sunset or whatever.
It's dusk.
It's sun's starting to set, moon's starting to rise. Now, I was thinking maybe it's out in the woods or in a clearing in the woods, whatever. Ricky catches
Full
up.
moon?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Full moon. Ricky catches up to Angela, or like he gets to her first, or like Ricky and Ronnie get to her first, whatever. Angela's about to fucking pounce or something. Like they just catch her, and Angela's kind of like prime ready. She's like, and then
defensive.
and then Ricky comes and he's like, Angela. He calls her name, and Angela's like freezes or like stops or whatever, and then she sees Ricky, and Ricky's like fucking arms out. He's like Angela or whatever. He's like. He just says her name. Like I don't have any dialogue, but she's like Angela or whatever.
Trying to.
He's like Angela, it's me,
Coax
Ricky.
her? No.
Yeah. Coax her or whatever.
Coax her, yeah.
Well, he's not really trying to coax her, but he's just trying to get Angela to him. Because like I said, he and Ronnie have different goals here. So Ricky's like, Angela. I was thinking at this point maybe their goals are apparent to one another, but Ricky, as much as he wants to save Angela, I guess he starts to understand. He understands the situation, but he doesn't want to. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want it to be this way. But he
doesn't see any other way.
He's like, Angela, just come. He's like, it's me, Ricky, Angela, and Angela kind of is just, drops the knife or lowers the knife, whatever. Like she starts going to Ricky. Ricky like takes the knife from her, or like she puts the knife down, whatever, and he starts to take the knife, or like they go to hug one another or whatever. Like Angela's like kind of like, what the hell's the word? She's calm at this point, I guess, or she's
defenses are down.
Yeah, defenses are down. And that's when Ronnie shoots her. He's like, boom, boom, shoots her twice or whatever, and Angela falls into Ricky's arms. And I was thinking maybe like right before she gets shot, she starts to say his name or something.
Ricky.
And then she gets shot, and like Ronnie shoots her like once or twice. I think maybe like twice or something, or just shoots her. If the hell even once would probably do it. And then falls into Ricky's arms. Ricky falls to the ground with her. Angela's bleeding out, kind of like looking at Ricky, and Ricky's like holding it, huh?
Oh, sorry, Rico. I like one because I don't think Ronnie's like a killer.
Yeah. That's why I said. That's why I kind of went back to one. Like, and also just wouldn't make sense. Why would he go boom, boom, and he's like poo, poo?
Right. Or
like, one just makes more sense. One just works a lot better than two.
Sorry.
Definitely no more than twice.
No.
Because Ronnie's not like all right, just unload it.
Yeah, hitting into it.
But he just.
But I think one.
He just like gets like a 6 shooter. Boom, 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 boom.
Now there's some commotion.
In the gun smoke.
I lost count. Is it 6?
5. Ricky, she's dead.
You gotta ask
no, Ronnie,
yourself.
she's dead. But
I'm Ricky.
Now Ricky
You're
has
right.
the gun.
You gotta ask yourself.
Do I feel lucky? Well, do ya, punk?
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to...
Sleepaway Camp 3, Dirty Harry. Anyway, so...
Sorry.
Angela... So Ronnie shoots Angela. As she's, I guess, I was thinking maybe about to say Ricky's name or something. Like, it's just something... some sort of
Ricky.
sign. Some sort of sign that she is... That...
There's something still there.
Someone's still there. That Angela is maybe still there. Or she sees Ricky in that moment. Like, that brings her back. Or like that calms her. And Ricky goes
at that moment
to hug her, and Ronnie fires, seizing the moment, and she falls into Ricky's arms. He falls to the ground like on his knees or something with her, and he's crying, and she's like, he's like looking at her, she's looking at him,
having a moment.
And he's like, Angela, I'm sorry. Or he just keeps saying like, I'm sorry,
right.
Like Angela, I'm sorry.
That's
like all he can say is just like, I'm sorry, or Angela, I'm sorry. That's all he can say. Just like, moments like that, like it's almost like your speech becomes so limited.
Right.
Like you can, like you say,
you just
like
thinking.
You get to this
sorry.
point where you can only repeat, like moments like that. You get to this point where like all you can say is like whatever the first like one or two words out of your mouth. Well, yeah. Or like sometimes almost like the first thing that comes out of your mouth is like all you can say after that. So he's just like, Angela, I'm sorry. Angela, I'm sorry, Angela, I'm so sorry. It's like, Angela, I'm sorry. And he's like crying, like, holding him like that. And Ronnie kind of just comes up next to them. Not like, let me finish the job. Not like that, but he comes up and he just like looks at them. And he's not fucking happy.
Right. He didn't want to do it, but he
didn't want to do anything that just happened. Or like he didn't want any of the things that happen, of course. But he's looking at him now, and he's just like just looks at them. I was like, he drops the gun, or he's just holding it. And Ricky's just still looking at Angela, holding her, and he's just still like, I'm sorry. And then kind of like just maybe slowly goes up, or maybe not slowly goes up, but it's like maybe fades or cuts to just the moon over the woods, and then it just goes dark, and that's it.
My God. Yeah.
So you see like that's
no.
And then Return to Sleepaway Camp happens,
right.
Of course.
Because you can't die.
But that was kind of that was the idea I got for Sleepaway Camp 3. So I was like, weird that I went in that direction, but that's just kind of the direction I personally went in.
Well, I think it's nice to do 1, 2, 3, done.
Yeah, and I thought like, well, end it. Whereas most would keep going, it's like, end it. And I thought like maybe I guess it kind of turns into less of a horror slasher, but maybe still kind of one. But it definitely ends differently than you would expect, of course.
I don't know what the right word would be, but like Jason, I don't think he can ever die. Like you just know that they're gonna keep coming back. Yeah. So this one's has real.
It's at least somewhat grounded.
Right. Consequences. Real consequences for both the villain and the hero. Which I'm not saying Angela's the villain or whatever.
Yeah.
Just
protagonist, antagonist.
They're both mortal. So,
yeah,
just kind of, I think you care about it more. Not that they really want you to care anything about Jason or
Yeah, right. I guess that's like something I'm just.
No, I like.
That's just like
a
consequence of me. I'm glad you do. That's just a consequence, I guess, of me as my writing. Like I just care about that sort of thing more than like how many times can we get this guy to come back and do the same thing over and over again. When I did the second one, and when I thought about writing the second one, I thought about writing the third one. It was more just like, how can I close Angela's arc or her circle? How can I take this all the way around and just end it? And that's how I came up with 3. It was like, well, Ronnie would just go, at this point after the second one, he would just be ready to take Angela down, I guess.
He has to stop her.
He would have Ricky come help him. Ricky wouldn't want to kill Angela. But after I saw Return to Sleepaway Camp, I was like, Ricky wouldn't want to kill Angela. Like he would just want Angela back.
Right.
And then, but it was like he would have to at some point at least see what the situation was
and what she's capable of.
And I just had that ending scene in my head where he just like is holding her there after Ronnie shoots her, and he's just like, "I'm sorry."
Mm-hmm. Had to be done, but I'm sorry.
That's what happens because Angela actually is just a pretty fucking sad character if you think about it.
Oh yeah,
Angela has like
lost her
genuine horror to her, but like in a more, well, I don't say like. Well, yeah, I guess real would be the word. I mean,
it's possible. Well, losing a parent and a sibling,
and then being forced to think, brainwashed to think you're a girl,
right?
And raised by this insane woman, and then going to camp and being bullied to the point that you snap and start killing people, and then in my universe snaps and it just becomes like animalistic, and then books it and starts killing more people.
Right.
A few years later,
it just builds.
It just builds, and it's just like
that
it's
itch or the oh, that wasn't good enough. I need another one.
Yeah,
I need another kill.
It's that itch or just that need or like that
desire.
Hunger, desire.
Hunger. I like the hunger.
Insatiable bloodlust almost, but still this
but also,
instinct to kill cruel people.
Right. It's not just willy-nilly or
to kill. It's driven almost by empathy to some degree, or I guess sympathy would be one of those. It's sympathy, not empathy, because empathy is more in general. It's driven by sympathy, really, to kill cruel people. Seeing what happened to Peter, seeing Peter getting bullied, so she killed the people who bullied him, just like she killed the people who bullied her or harmed Ricky.
Right. So, yeah, that would have been nice.
I'm glad you like my versions.
Yeah, well, it's thought out and it makes sense.
I tried to make it make sense. Now, is it time for me to read my Sleepaway Camp 5?
Go for it.
Time to cap this whole thing off.
cabin.
So
buddy.
the whole
Wrap this up.
the whole idea of this episode was for us to do Sleepaway Camp 5, and then I just like spilled out my heart and soul of Sleepaway Camp 2.
This is beautiful.
Heart, soul.
We need
2
we need
was
an
my
audience.
heart, 3 was the soul.
Aww.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For that part.
Okay, so just give it a minute, everyone, because the tone's going to change from everything I just said. So, it's going to be more fun. So, here it is. So, and I got it all typed out. It's only about like 3.5, 4 pages, but I mean, I think it's better off being, like I told you earlier, I was going to be longer, but I think it's better off being this short. Okay, so Sleepaway Camp 5. Writer and director Robert Hiltzik is working on his magnum opus, Sleepaway Camp 5. Although it is chronologically the 6th movie in the series, it is labeled as the 5th, as no one really counts Sleepaway Camp 4. The film is set in the same camp as the first, for some artistic reason, I imagine. Also, a portion of the original cast is returning. Sorry, I had to pause. It's the rest of this shit. Paul D'Angelo as Ronnie, Jonathan Tiersten as Ricky, Karen Fields as Judy, Catherine Kemme as Meg, M-E-G, and of course, Felissa Rose as Angela. The first day on set, Karen Fields asks why Paul is not returning in this movie. Writer and director Robert Hiltzik explains that Paul was decapitated in the first film, and everybody knows that the only way to truly kill a 14-year-old boy is by cutting off his head. Catherine Kemme tells everyone that she played Pamela Kingsley on All My Children. Meanwhile, the boom mic operator is smoking a cigarette behind one of the cabins. He hears a noise come from the woods. He goes to investigate, and an unseen assailant gently taps the side of his head with a log. He begins to bleed a comical amount of blood, and falls to the ground dead. The assailant is revealed to be Pamela Springsteen. She disguises herself as the dead boom mic operator, and goes to join the others. The first scene is filmed, introducing the campers and revealing the returning cast as counselors, save for Angela. Karen Fields comments that this makes no sense, as it feels out of character for Judy, who should be dead. She also asks why everyone has to be here, regardless of whether or not they are needed for filming. Writer and director Robert Hiltzik says that it helps with the overall vibe on set. A quite bored Jonathan Tiersten asks when Angela is supposed to appear, and writer and director Robert Hiltzik tells them that Angela will appear soon. However, they will be filming all scenes in order. Interested in this decision, Jonathan Tiersten asks who the producer is. He does not get an answer. Felissa Rose is shown levitating with her legs crisscross applesauce. Her eyes are closed and she is unresponsive. Paul D'Angelo asks... Seeing your reaction. Paul D'Angelo asks if she is all right. Writer and director Robert Hiltzik says that she is getting into character. An extra screams, and everyone rushes to see what the problem is. A mutilated body is discovered. It is unidentifiable, however, it is certainly a crew member. No one has any idea what could have done this, or who even. The crew is shaken up, but writer and director Robert Hiltzik insists that filming continue as the producer requires that the film be made. Filming continues and more bodies begin to pile up, women and children alike. Men too, it is not a guy-girl thing. Pamela Springsteen as well continues to rack up a kill count, but not nearly as much as the unknown killer who leaves their victims a mess. Roughly midway through production, the crew members begin to dwindle, with cast members having to take up jobs such as DP, ADR, etc. No one is able to leave, as they each have a contract with the producer obligating them to stay, otherwise they will be thrown into maximum security prison for forever. Karen Fields expresses both concern and disgust, particularly towards writer and director Robert Hiltzik for wanting to make this movie. Jonathan Tiersten and Paul D'Angelo both are working together to find out who is killing everyone and who the producer is. Catherine Kemme periodically informs everyone that she was Pamela Kingsley in All My Children. Felissa Rose continues to seemingly meditate, hovering off the ground with her eyes closed, moving to wherever the crew is without leaving her crisscross applesauce position. As the crew is brought down to less than 20, Jonathan Tiersten and Paul D'Angelo become suspicious of Pamela Springsteen. Writer and director Robert Hiltzik does not understand why they are beginning to suspect her of being the killer. Karen Fields sides with Jonathan Tiersten and Paul D'Angelo, stating that the boom mic operator was Bruno, a large muscular black man with a shining bald head and a huge lumberjack beard. This person posing as the boom mic operator is just Pamela Springsteen. Pamela Springsteen takes off the boom mic operator hat that she got from the boom mic operator she killed at the beginning of production, now revealed to have been Bruno, and admits that she is in fact Pamela Springsteen. Paul D'Angelo asks why she is here, and Pamela Springsteen explains that she never got a fair shake at playing Angela, and says that she has been slowly picking off crew members to prove her worthiness of playing Angela. She admits, however, that she is losing to whomever is leaving their victims an unrecognizable mess. Jonathan Tiersten tells writer and director Robert Hiltzik that it is time he told everyone who the producer is, and why they are forcing them all to endure this. Writer and director Robert Hiltzik decides to appease Jonathan Tiersten, and reveals that he is in fact the producer. He never wanted any of this to happen, and had no idea there was a killer here, or that Pamela Springsteen would show up. As all of these engaging truths are being unraveled, a figure approaches the remaining crew, which at this point is... approaches the remaining crew, sorry. As the figure comes closer, Paul D'Angelo says, "I knew it was you." The figure is shown, and turns out to be from What the fuck? I was just looking at the way I wrote this. The figure is shown, and turns out to be Angela from Sleepaway Camp 1, in all of her 14-year-old glory. She informs everyone that she is from the future, or the past, or whatever, and that she is not the killer, nor is she Pamela Springsteen. She has come to warn everyone and help battle the real killer. Karen Fields does not understand, and vocalizes this. Angela says that she has very little time left to explain, and if they do not hurry, everyone will suffer a terrible fate, specifically death, and not being recognizable afterwards. Pamela Springsteen proposes that she and Angela join forces to fight the killer. Angela agrees, and says that they will need the help of another if they have any chance of winning. Another extra screams, probably the same one as before, and everyone turns to see the real killer, that is not Pamela Springsteen. It is a horrid mass of static, flesh, grainy film reel, archived footage, and teeth. Writer, director, and producer Robert Hiltzik screams in horror that it is Sleepaway Camp 4. Sleepaway Camp 4 begins rampaging, tearing people apart, eating them, and other shit like that. Angela tells Pamela Springsteen that the two of them will never stand a chance against Sleepaway Camp 4, and that they must complete the triad of Sleepaway. Sorry, writing that just drove me fucking nuts. Angela tells writer, director, and producer Robert Hiltzik to awaken the One. He acknowledges her command, and I don't know what the fuck I was thinking when I wrote this. He acknowledges her command and tears off his shirt. He runs towards the mass of terror and begins to engage it in fisticuffs. Sleepaway Camp 4 picks him up with a tentacle made from film reel and throws him into one of its many orifices of teeth and inner flesh. Angela states that is not what she intended him to do. She takes a small wooden whistle out of her pocket and gives it to Karen Fields, telling her to blow it. Karen Fields blows it as hard as she can, and a two-toned melody pierces the chaos. Felissa Rose opens her eyes. I love this face you're making. Felissa Rose begins to laugh maniacally, and asks Michael how cool it is now. Catherine Camille goes to Felissa Rose, who is now awake, to give her parting words before battle. She tells Felissa Rose that she played Pamela Kingsley on All My Children. This next line just makes me smile. Pamela Springsteen approaches Catherine Camille and says to her, "I'm Pamela, fornicator." Pamela Springsteen reaches into her pocket and pulls out her stick. She then beats Catherine Camille with it until she falls to the ground dead, probably from being stabbed or something, certainly not from Pamela beating her with a stick. Angela, Pamela Springsteen, and Felissa Rose become locked in an eternal battle with Sleepaway Camp 4, keeping the camp safe from its reign of terror. Jonathan Tiersten, Paul D'Angelo, and Karen Fields watch the battle and wonder what will happen next. Just then, they are approached by writer, director, and producer, yeah, that's right, Robert Hiltzik. He informs them that he needs to make back the money he lost on the movie. With Sleepaway Camp 4 kept at bay by the triad of Sleepaway, he decides to open the camp to the public. He hires Jonathan Tiersten, Paul D'Angelo, and Karen Fields as counselors, since they are still locked into contract with him anyway. The film ends with a convoy of buses pulling up to the camp, now retitled Camp Paquanack. A group of kids step off of the first bus, and writer, director, producer, and camp director, Robert Hiltzik, says to them, Welcome to Camp Paquanack." The triad of Sleepaway can be seen battling Sleepaway Camp 4 in the distance. He then continues, "By the way, there's a fucking monster." The end.
By the way.
And it's titled Sleepaway Camp 4. Oh, sorry, god damn it.
Sorry.
And it's titled Sleepaway Camp 5, Big Trouble in Little Paquanack.
Oh, shit.
What'd you think?
Big trouble.
What'd you think?
That was intense. That was a roller coaster, man. I love that. crisscross applesauce so much, just floating around. Oh, the monster. Sleepaway
Camp 4.
Camp 4.
Do you like that at the very beginning?
Sleepaway Camp
I just
4.
gave a simple acknowledgement to Sleepaway Camp 4, and then that's the fucking killer.
Yeah. How? I didn't see that.
No one really counts Sleepaway Camp 4. It's Sleepaway Camp 4.
Oh shit! It's angry.
My favorite. I was wondering what you'd think when I started listening to the cast, and I said Karen Fields is Judy, and I just basically said that Judy and Meg were back. I was wondering what you'd think.
I don't know.
How do you come back from reading this?
I don't know.
My favorite part to write personally, that I just could not help but almost break down laughing whenever I went to read it, was Pamela Springsteen approaches Catherine Cammy and says to her, "I'm Pamela Fornicator."
Right.
She then reaches into her pocket and pulls out her stick. Sorry, I have the hiccups now. I quite like the title too. And the ending line I think is pretty good. Mm-hmm. By the way, there's a fucking monster.
Yeah. If you hadn't noticed.
When I told you about this, when I told you about how I was writing this earlier, I wanted to. There were a couple of scenes that I wanted to put into. Well, I guess scenes. I use that term loosely. That I wanted to put in. One of them was that at some point, like there's the abandoned cabin, and somebody goes to go into it, and Pamela Springsteen is like, "No, wait!" And they open the door, and like just a bunch of corpses just like just all pile out. And she's like, "They were all fornicators, I swear."
Dear God. I swear they were fornicating in the woods. What a way to wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked all three of my ideas.
Yeah.
We have to end it because I have the fucking hiccups now.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.